atmospheric mixing. So
No, sir, just one question that when we are considering the 4 point mixing, then we are considering the points around the like surrounding 4 points. So if we consider 9 point mixing, then there will be one extra point. So which point will we consider in that?
no, you just draw a box and then uh, there is one central point, right? And then one line, if you just draw around the central point, so you'll have 1 point on the right side, 1 point on the left side, right? And similarly, if you go to the next latitude above, then you'll have 3 points over there. And then if you go down one latitude below, then also you have 3 points there. So 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9. I mean, I can show you in the diagram if you want to. You just visualize a grid having just 9 points, and there is one central point in that 9, right? So 9-point average means all the 9 points around that central point. I can.
Okay.
Do you want to see the figure? Then let me share the screen. First of all, let me open the PowerPoint, for example. Picture schedules. I have bought a Wacom type of writing board, but still I have not opened the box. I have no time to open the box. Already more than a week ago, I bought this through online Wacom digital board. I haven't got time to open that. So if I had that, I would have immediately drawn on that. But let me open the PowerPoint. Rahul, you said driver is available online to download. Is that so?
Yes, sir. It's freely available online, sir.
Okay, I haven't tried even actually. मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि आज करूँगा कल करूँगा कुछ ना कुछ जो है सो काम आता रहा. So absolutely no time for that. Hopefully this week I'll try to install that. Okay, say for example, now let me share the screen first of all. Present now. Your entire screen. Share. Please share. It's taking time to share. Share internet. Slow internet. It seems. Why is it not sharing? The share button is not getting highlighted. We cancel it first and then cancel and then again try to share. Present now. Present your entire screen.
So you have to click on that small window also.
Which small window?
Sir, your shared screen. The screen.
Yeah, one window has pop-up. Small
Yes, sir.
window. In which
Yes.
there are two buttons, share and cancel. But share is not getting highlighted.
So in that window, there will be a small screen. You have to click on that screen.
Ha! Right. Every day we have been doing, but still, you're right. Yeah, good. Okay, now it's coming up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See? I was just waiting that that will get highlighted. Are you able to see that? Okay. So can you see my window?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Put in the PowerPoint mode, presentation mode, and then if I want to highlight some point here, I just click on the pen here and highlighter or just pen. Maybe I click on the pen. I click on the pen, I can draw something. Suppose we have this, I can choose a color also, right? I choose a color. How do I choose a color? No.
कलर सर
Mm-hmm.
जहाँ आपने पेन सेलेक्ट किया वहीं पे
Yeah.
ऑप्शन है कलर
Okay.
नीचे में सर यस सर
Got it. So if I select a deep blue color, let us say. So anyway, I think this should be visible. Oh, yeah. Where is my cursor? Yeah, suppose these are the 9 points. Can you see the 9 points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? And this is the central point. Isn't it? The central point. So 9-point average, when we say, that is the 9 points around these central points. Right? So is that okay? When we say only 4 points, that means actually it is a 5 point, because in that case 1 point here, 1 point there, 1 point here, 1 point here, and the central point. So 5 points actually, 5-point average or 9-point average, right? So by doing this, what will happen that you are also taking into account the values at the neighboring grid points, and so the values are getting mixed up, right? That is in the horizontal. Same thing also in the vertical. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how do I end this? Escape button. Want to keep your link and discard. All right. So okay. So any other point from yesterday's class? If none, then we can proceed to the next topic, which is short, medium, and long range deterministic weather prediction. Okay. And I think that you are already familiar with this also in some form or the other. We have discussed about this earlier. So today what I will do is I'll just have an interactive class, because anyway, we have to stop at about 3:15, leave you for your examination. So we'll just have an interactive class today. Okay. So when I say short, medium, and long range deterministic forecast, I'll just interact with each one of you. That what do you understand by that? For example, Asna, if I ask you, what is deterministic forecast? Can you just tell what is deterministic forecast? Asna. Can you hear me,
Yes,
Asna?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you say what is deterministic forecast?
Sir, in which we don't consider the future values, we take only the present variables and initial conditions.
Future values we don't consider. We take only the initial condition. Not really. Let me ask somebody else. Okay, Rahul, can you explain what is deterministic forecast?
I can't think so. Deterministic forecast.
Yeah, well, actually, I thought today's topic is already familiar to you. That's why I'm just interacting with you word by word about today's topic. Short, medium, and long.
Maybe deterministic forecast is something like which we can predict as something short range forecast, which we can predict with higher like accuracy.
Well, the deterministic forecast, are there other forecasts that other than the deterministic forecast, for example?
No idea, sir.
No idea. Sibam, can you say what is deterministic forecast? Sibam, can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you explain what is deterministic forecast?
The deterministic forecast mean if we have already a model output, then we have to run that again with a new initial conditions. Then it will be called a deterministic forecast.
You have to run with a new initial condition.
Yes, sir.
So every day the initial condition is new,
Yes, sir.
right? Every day the initial condition is new, at all the global operational centers. So either the deterministic forecast. Anything else you want to clarify? If it is deterministic forecast, then what are the other forecasts that you know? Are there other types of forecast? Non-deterministic forecast? Can there be a non-deterministic forecast?
No, sir. No idea.
No idea.
No, sir.
Well, see, this is a brainstorming session. All that I know. I know that you know the answer, but probably right now either you have forgotten or not able to express, because I know that we have discussed it in many times in different forms. So probably you are not able to express properly. Whom should I ask? Adira, can you explain what is deterministic forecast?
Sir, for a given time, we are taking a value. We are taking a range of values, or we are giving a value like that. I think so. I am not sure, sir. I don't know actually.
Okay, Anis, can you explain? Anis, are you there?
Yes, sir.
बताओ deterministic forecast क्या होता है?
सर कोई आइडिया नहीं है सर क्या होता है.
Well, at least I expected you and Asna, both of you had a internship for NCM RWF. Isn't it?
Sir, I a little bit remember deterministic and stochastic something.
हाँ, और भी तो है deterministic, stochastic और क्या है? At least Asna and Anis, I expect you should answer, because for your internship, summer internship, you were supposed to work for NCM RWF, right?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो बताओ नजमीन, can you answer नजमीन? What is deterministic forecast? जोर से बोलो, तुम्हारा आवाज ही बहुत धीरे आ रहा है.
Sir, I have no idea, sir.
You have no idea.
About it.
So I was assuming that this we have already discussed many times in different forms, but it seems that most of you have no idea. Sweta, can you explain?
Sir, I'm not sure, I'm not confident, but from the name, deterministic means that the outcome is more certain, and stochastic means the outcome will be uncertain.
Okay, you try to explain the literal meaning of the two words.
So, sir, deterministic forecast will have a more certain outcome, and thus the time span will be, like Rahul said, it will be for shorter time spans, whereas stochastic is uncertain, so it can be of relatively longer time.
So does it mean that shorter time scale, if they are deterministic, the medium time scale or long range forecasts are not deterministic?
Not necessarily, sir.
Okay. So whom should I ask next? Haritashri, can you explain in your words?
So yeah, even I thought the same thing, that it can be determined with more certainty.
Okay. Well,
So is there anything about the weather certain deterministic?
Is there anything about the
Weather, about the climate, about the weather that is deterministic for us to prove?
It is related obviously to the weather only, weather forecasting that we do by so many methods, right? Now, one is of course by using the dynamical models. Okay, and when we use the dynamical models, we solve the prognostic equations, right? Prognostic equations, you understand, right? The meaning of the prognostic word.
Yes.
Right? So we solve the prognostic equation now which are for the momentum and then the temperature, specific humidity, and so on, right? And then we try to solve those equations, those differential equations, now with using some kind of numerical technique, and try to determine. See, the word deterministic is coming from, we try to determine the future state of the atmosphere by using some kind of time integration scheme, right? Because you're integrating the prognostic equation with time, isn't it? Del U by del T, or del V by del T, or delta temperature by del T, whatever. So you're trying to determine the future state of temperature or moisture or momentum by solving those equations using some numerical technique, right? So that way, now it is deterministic. But what are the other types of forecast that is also used? Other is, of course, stochastic. Somebody has said is stochastic. More like a statistical forecast. There are also statistical forecast, right? And even today, also IMD uses a statistical forecast for long range, especially. Okay. So there can be stochastic forecast, statistical forecast, deterministic forecast, ensemble forecasting, right? Ensemble forecasting, you have heard about that, isn't it? Ensemble forecasting. So ensemble forecasting also, now there are two types of ensemble forecasting. We shall discuss that later because this is part of the syllabus in the subject. So ensemble forecasting also is done, right? So there are many ways to forecast the future state of the atmosphere or the weather, you can say, right? So when we say deterministic, we mean that we are using some kind of dynamical models in which there are prognostic equations which are solved using some numerical technique and get the future state of the atmosphere, right? So generally, this is a kind of a conventional word used by operational centers like ECMWF and CEP, and now almost all the operational centers in the world, they use this word, deterministic. So deterministic versus non-deterministic. Non-deterministic is like something like you're not trying to solve the prognostic equation, but we are just trying to get the future values using some diagnostic relationship. So that is not non-deterministic. That means if some atmospheric variable cannot be represented by a prognostic equation, then you have to diagnose this. For example, earlier, for many years, the clouds were diagnosed, not prognosed, right? Because clouds didn't have any prognostic equation. Nowadays, of course, people are using prognostic equation for that. But earlier, there was no prognostic equation for the cloud, right? So we used to relate the clouds with some other parameters and then try to get the future value of cloud. For example, if clouds depends upon factors like stability, factors like relative humidity, factors like vertical motion. So some of them are predictable. So using the predicted values of those things, we diagnose the cloud. Say, for example, let us say lightning. Now, lightning that occurs and is so important. As of now, generally, there is no prognostic equation for the lightning, right? We cannot say del lightning by del T. We don't have such equation like we have for the del momentum by del T or del temperature by del T. We don't have an equation like del lightning by delta time. So we cannot determine the lightning, or we cannot forecast lightning using a deterministic method. Only we can diagnose it, because by making lots of studies, we try to relate lightning with other physical parameters. Like we go deep down to the lightning physics. What is the physics behind the lightning, right? And then try to understand how lightning occurs, and then try to diagnose those physical parameters. Like suppose if the lightning occurs because of the development of charges in the atmosphere, and then the separation of charges into positive charges and negative charges. And if the potential gradient between the positive and negative charges becomes so high that the gradient is broken down and there is a discharge, right? Like you just join the two wires, electric wires, positive and negative, and there will be a spark, right? So if spark happens in the atmosphere within the cloud because of the excess of potential gradient between negative charge and positive charge, then lightning occurs. So we try to again examine how those charges got separated, got accumulated. So again, there are so many theories for that, collision, etc., between the ice particles or other hydrometeors. So then we try to say like, okay, if there are hydrometeors available in the atmosphere, if you can predict the hydrometeors, you can somehow try to relate with the lightning and predict the lightning. So that is the diagnostic way. Or for example, another important well-known thing is the reflectivity, like radar reflectivity, right? There are so many radars nowadays in India. 27 Doppler radars are there, right? And every day, every 10 minutes, we measure the reflectivity from the radar. And those reflectivity are what? Basically, reflectivity from the clouds, which are there in the atmosphere. And clouds contain hydrometeors. So those reflectivity are basically coming because of the presence of the hydrometeors in the clouds or in the atmosphere. So we don't have a direct equation, a deterministic equation for predicting the radar reflectivity, but we have equations for predicting the hydrometeors. So here again, we try to diagnose the reflectivity, the future reflectivity, what will be reflectivity tomorrow or day after tomorrow, based upon the predicted value of the hydrometeors. So reflectivity is not a deterministic parameter. It can only be diagnosed. It cannot be prognosed. It cannot be predicted directly. So it is it is not deterministic. It is non-deterministic. It is diagnostic. So like that, so many things that we need to know. I mean, even the simplest thing, for example, everything. I mean, everyday thing which people expect from us, a forecaster, is the rainfall. Right? Rainfall is a very common popular parameter which everybody expects every day. Right? But do we have a prognostic equation for the rainfall? We don't have a prognostic equation for the rainfall. We again diagnose the rainfall, how much condensation occurred, in what layer of the atmosphere, and then how the raindrops formed, and then they fell through the layers of the atmosphere down to the surface, etc. All those physical processes, and after passing through all those physical processes, whatever condensate reached the ground, that is the precipitation. So again, here also rainfall is diagnosed, right? So there are many diagnostic parameters and there are many prognostic parameters. So in a deterministic model, we try to determine the values of the future state of the atmosphere based upon those prognostic equations, and the rest of the parameters which we don't have the prognostic equation, we try to diagnose. Right? So that's how it is deterministic. Generally, this terminology was started by UCMW because when they started this ensemble forecasting, now ensemble forecasting has become like a part of the regular outputs from the model. Every operational centers, good operational center, has this ensemble forecasting because they know that the deterministic model, because when we say deterministic model, we generally refer to one model, right? When we say deterministic model, we refer to one particular model. And we know that one particular model is not perfect. It's never perfect. So we try to take the help of many models, right? Many models. And those many models, again, depends. Many models can be many types of model depending upon their different dynamics and different physics. Or there can be many types of forecast from the same model for the same date based upon different initial conditions. Right? Suppose in a deterministic model, generally we have one initial condition and run the model with that initial condition to get the future state of the atmosphere. Right? In deterministic model, you have just one initial condition, and we use that initial condition to get the future value of the atmosphere. Right? But if we can have many initial conditions for the same date and same time, then now we will have many forecasts valid for the same future time and same future date. Right? And when we have many forecasts, then we know that how is the spread of the forecast, because all the forecasts will not be exactly same, even if the starting date and time is same. The forecast will not be same because the initial conditions are different. Right? So when there are many forecasts, now for the same date, valid for the same date, starting from the same date, then we will know what is the range of those forecasts, how is the spread of the forecast. Right? And then we know that our true value of the future state will somehow fall within that range only. And so we have some kind of a indication of the error bars in that ensemble range or probability of the occurrence of the future value. For example, the probability of occurrence of rainfall tomorrow, say between 5 millimeter and 10 millimeter, or 10 millimeter and 20 millimeter, and so on, like that, with different threshold values, we can calculate if we have an ensemble of forecasts. Right? So the ECMWF started referring this terminology called deterministic forecast and ensemble forecast. So by deterministic forecast, they mean that the forecast which is obtained from one initial condition using a dynamical model, whereas the ensemble forecast means the forecast which is obtained from many initial conditions starting from the same point and ending at the same point. One way, that is one way. The other way is that you can have many types of models. And when we say many types of model, doesn't mean that we should have really, many types of model, like one ECMWF model, one GMA model, one NCF model, one NCM model, one IMD model. No, that's fine. That also is okay. But now the same model also can be turned into many types nowadays, because, say for example, the WRF model. A WRF model has got so many options for the physics. Right? That later on you will know that. Now there are so many physical processes in the model, and each of those physical processes are parameterized using many types of schemes. Say convection scheme, there are so many types of convection schemes are available in the WRF model because of the scientists who have been doing so many research. Somebody says, okay, I can parameterize the convection in this way. Other scientists will say, well, your method is not so accurate, so I can do it in a different way, which is better, and so on. So like that, about 5-10 different schemes are available for parameterizing the cumulus convection. And so is the case for other physical processes, cloud microphysics or PBL, etc., that we shall study later on, maybe from next class onwards. So if you change the physical processes, choose different options of physics in your model. For example, in the WRF model, you have one set of physics for PBL, for convection, for cloud microphysics, for radiation, and for the dynamics. That means there is one type of model. Now, if you change the physics option for each of those physical processes, convection, radiation, PBL, land surface processes, etc., then same WRF model becomes a different WRF model with different physical options. And like that, you can have all kinds of permutations and combinations. So that there were 10 different types of WRF model, each having different combinations of the physics, different vertical layers, different resolutions, right? So when we change the vertical levels or the horizontal resolution, that means we are changing the dynamics there. When we are changing the physical processes, that means you are changing the physics. So with different types of combinations of the physics and dynamics, we can run the model starting from the same initial condition. Because we know that we don't know that which combination is really giving us the best result. Now, people do research and publish paper by just running one set of physical processes and dynamics, and that may work okay in some event for some cases, but for some other cases it may not give the best result. No, there are maybe large in some other cases, right? So in order to minimize that error, one can run the same case using different types of combinations of the physical processes of the same model, right? And there also you can say that then you have got an ensemble of model, ensemble of WRF model having different combinations of physics and dynamics. Or if you have different initial condition available from the generally, this ensemble forecasting, of course, nowadays people are attempting also in the regional model, but earlier it was only for the global model. And they used to get different initial conditions from the global model by different methods. And for each of those initial conditions, again, they used to run the WRF model. So you have got different sets of model runs, model outputs, starting from the same date and valid for the same date. So that means you have got an ensemble of outputs, right? So that is the ensemble forecasting. And the other one was the deterministic forecasting, in which is just starting with one initial condition, with one combination of physics and dynamics, right? So is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
good.
sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And then the other things like short range, medium range, long range. You know the definition of that, right? I hope. What is short range? What is short range, Shivam?
Sir, 3 to 6 hours.
Was
3 to 6 hours forecast.
and hear you. Another hear you.
Sir, 3 to 6
Why,
hours.
Kitna?
Sir,
3 to 6 hours.
Yes, sir.
3 to 6 hours you say short range. No. Asma? Asma, can you say what is short range?
So 1 to 7 days.
1 to 7 days is short range. No. Rahul, can you say what is short range? No. You just switch off your mic. Rahul, can you say what is short range?
Yes. Till 24 hours, it's short range, sir.
Till 24 hours. No. Sayoni, can you say what is short range? Sayoni? Are you there, Sayoni? See, not there. Shweta, can you say what is short range?
Yes, sir.
Who is
2 to
saying?
3 days, I think.
Who's
Sir,
saying?
Shayani, sir.
Sayoni, what is short range, Sayoni?
Sir, up to a few hours.
Up to a few hours. Few means how many? You are talking about deterministic, sir. It's just
Sir, 3 days approximately.
Gitesh, okay. Gitesh and Shweta also probably said 72 hours, right?
Yes, sir, approximately 72.
Okay.
I said 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, not 3 days. Generally, when we say short range, we refer to up to 3 days, 22 hours, right? 72 up to 72 hours is considered as short range. Then, what is medium range?
Sir, 3 to 7 days.
Yeah, 3 to 7 days. Even nowadays, up to 10 days also considered to be medium range. Because ECMWF started medium range forecast up to 10 days, and that terminology became kind of a standard terminology for medium range. 3 to 10 days considered to be medium range. Then what is extended medium range? You know what is extended medium range?
Yeah, so yes, sir, something between long range and medium range it is considered, because long range is for months or even seasons, and it is between medium and long.
So kitna Vibhuti? Let
Sir,
Vibhuti say.
we can
Vibhuti, are
say.
you there? Let Vibhuti speak. Vibhuti, are you there?
Yes, sir.
क्या है medium?
Yes, sir.
Medium range क्या है? What is medium range?
Sir, up to 10 days.
ठीक है, वो तो अभी बोल हो गया. What is extended medium range?
Sir, up to 30 days.
30 days. No. Adira?
Sir,
Adira, what is extended medium range?
Yes, sir.
What is extended medium range?
Sir, if any, yes, sir, if beyond that days, if any cyclone or heavy rainfall is, then rather after predicting for that medium range, we are extending that to that.
Not really. Savani, can you say what is extended medium range?
No, sir, but probably 15 days. I'm not sure.
15 days actually. When you say extended medium range, it is 15 days. Generally, medium range, no, the terminology conventionally it is used up to 10 days. But ECMWF again, when their data assimilation system improved quite a lot, when their model improved quite a lot, then instead of stopping at 240 hours, that is 10 days, they further extended beyond up to 15 days, integrating the model up to 15 days. So that became the standard conventional term for extended medium range up to 15 days. But beyond that, generally a deterministic forecast is not made beyond that 10 days. Beyond the 15 days. You say a deterministic forecast is not made beyond 15 days. Right? After that, it becomes long range. More than 15 days, then it goes to the monthly forecast, seasonal forecast, like we do for the entire monsoon season, the seasonal forecast. That means we integrate the model up to 3 months, 4 months. Right? Even for 1 month also, it becomes like a monthly forecast, which is beyond the extended medium range. So in those cases, other things have to be taken care of into the integration of the model. Like the moment we go beyond 15 days, there are many other factors now. Like then in that case, initially in the short range, we don't give much importance to the SST, but then if you go beyond 7 days, 10 days, then SST becomes more important. If you further go beyond 15 days, SST definitely becomes very important. And then there are some other parameters also. So going beyond 15 days, that means you have to consider many other things. Nowadays, you may be knowing that the seasonal forecasting, which is made by IMD, they have different ways. Like they first start from the initial condition of 1st May, and then they again update it later on when the new parameters becomes available. So they make a set of new forecast, a new outlook for the monsoon season. So that has become a convention nowadays. Making a seasonal forecast initially using say 1st May initial condition, and then again updating it later on around I think 25th of May or so. So for the long range forecast, we do that way, or using the statistical model, so-called 16 parameter model, ARIMA model, and many other statistical model, which even today also IMD uses. IMD Pune has that long range forecasting division. Only Pune has that long range forecasting division. So they used to do earlier only by a statistical method because they didn't have confidence on the dynamical model. But nowadays, both the things are used: dynamical model as well as the statistical model. And again, there are inputs provided by NCMRWF also in that, IITM also in that, and also take the help of the other global models, the outputs from the HCMWF or NCEP or GMA, to arrive at a conclusion that what would be the outlook of monsoon, say for example this year in the month of May, and especially in the first week of June, or rather because monsoon we consider that from 1st June to 30th of September. So before that. Okay, I see that it is 3:16 in my watch, and you want it to be left stop at this point because of your exam, right? So you want to stop now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so fine. So I stop recording and